I was waiting on set for Rosalia to wrap up when she posted her very first Instagram. The picture showed her and Zach in the makeup room. She was leaning on his shoulder, smiling like a girl in love. The caption was just a few simple words, "Time flies." But my original intention remains. We've been married for 5 years. Yet she's never mentioned me on social media. Tonight is our wedding anniversary, and she's at Zach's celebration party. Chapter 1. Zach, her first love, a top-tier celebrity who had just returned from Hollywood to develop his career domestically. I sat alone at the reserved restaurant, staring at the meticulously prepared dishes, now cold. A waiter cautiously approached. "Director Lopez, should we remove one set of utensils first?" I waved him off and sent a WeChat message to the newly signed actress Regina. "Got a moment? Come have a drink with me." By the time Rosalia hurried into the restaurant, high heels clacking, out of breath, she saw me chatting cheerfully with Regina. "Clear everyone out," she said coldly to the staff. Regina politely stood and left, saying, "Director Lopez, we can discuss the script another day." Once the room emptied, Rosalia sat across from me, her eyes burning with obvious anger. "What's your meaning?" I elegantly cut my steak. "Don't you have more important things to do? I can't waste such a prime spot." "Julian Lopez, what do you take me for? You're meeting another woman, leaving me, your wife." "Where?" I looked up at her, half smiling. "So you still remember you're my wife? Then do you remember what day it is today?" Rosalia froze, her face instantly pale. "Our 5th wedding anniversary." I put down my knife and fork, my voice chillingly calm. "You forgot our promise. Abandoned me to attend Zach's celebration. Hugging him for photos and posting on Instagram. Where does that leave me? You're angry just for this?" Rosalia looked incredulous. "Julian, when did you become so petty? Forgetting a wedding anniversary is just a date. Besides, Zach just came back to the country. What's wrong with me attending to support him?" I suddenly felt like laughing. On our first wedding anniversary, she had clung to my arm and cooed, "From now on, every year on this day, we'll make it romantic." She had made me announce on Instagram, "Everyone, the famous director Julian already has his girl." When I asked why she didn't post it herself, her eyes flickered. "I'm an actress. It's better to stay low-key. Don't want people saying it's a stunt." Now I realized she didn't want Zach to get upset. Not mad anymore. "Right." Rosalia saw me smile and linked her arm through mine. "Shall we continue celebrating our anniversary?" I gently pushed her hand aside. "Rosalia, listen carefully. It's me, not him. Choose Zach, or choose me. You decide." I said no more and stood up to leave. Rosalia called my name from behind, but I didn't turn back. At home, I heard someone entering through the keypad. I thought it was Rosalia and was about to speak, but a deep male voice said, "Hello, I'm Zach, Rosalia's friend." Rosalia followed behind him and casually introduced, "Zach just came back to the country and hasn't bought a place yet, so I let him stay here first. You don't mind, right?" I looked at Zach's face, one I had seen countless times on the big screen, sneered, and turned into the bedroom, slamming the door shut. Through the door, I heard Zach ask, "He's not in a good mood today." Rosalia's voice, soft and conciliatory, "He's stressed from work, don't mind him." Chapter 2. The next morning, I smelled the long-missed aroma of breakfast. Rosalia was busy in the kitchen, wearing an apron. This was the first time she had cooked since we got married 5 years ago. Zach sat at the dining table in brand new loungewear. I recognized it as the set Rosalia bought last week. I had thought it was for me. "Awake, come try Rosalia's cooking," Zach said with a gentle smile. "Over the past few years in Hollywood, I've missed her breakfasts every single day." I glared at them coldly. "Too bad I've never enjoyed this kind of treatment." Rosalia brought over a bowl of porridge. "Stop sulking. Just eat." She thinks I'm sulking. Or has she already made her choice? I took a deep breath, pulled out my phone, and called my assistant. "Prepare breakfast for me and have it delivered to the office at 9 sharp. Then I left without looking back. On the way, I called my lawyer friend. "I want a divorce." "Are you kidding?" Rosalia would agree to that. She even paused her career for a year at the peak of her fame just to marry you. My voice was calm. "Whether she agrees doesn't matter. I'm divorcing her." "All right, got it. Give me a month to prepare all the documents." After hanging up, I stared out the car window at the streets flying past. "Rosalia, this time, I'm letting go completely." At the office, Rosalia's assistant delivered a delicate breakfast. I didn't even look at it and pushed it straight to Regina. "For you." Regina was flustered. "Thank you, Director Lopez, but this is Rosalia's gesture," I said, pulling a black card from my wallet. "Take it and buy some nice clothes. There's a fitting photo shoot next week." Regina blushed, accepting it cautiously. "I'll do my best." At that moment, Rosalia came out of the elevator and caught sight of the scene. Expressionless, she waited for Regina to leave, then walked over and wrapped her arms around my waist, trying to make me angry on purpose. "So you can get revenge?" I smiled lightly. "If I wanted revenge, What I gave her wouldn't be a card, it would be the lead actress role. Rosalia nuzzled my chest. I came looking for you on purpose, are you still mad? Her coquettish act almost made me soften. But the next second, I remembered Zach at my house last night. Do you know what I'm angry about? I pushed her away and showed her my phone. It was Zach's post on social media. A photo of the two of them from yesterday with the caption, "Feels like home. You made breakfast for him, not me. In 5 years of marriage, you've never cooked for me, and in these 5 years, I've never appeared on your social media." Rosalia hurriedly tried to explain. "I'll post now. I'll take a picture with you and put it on Instagram right now. Tonight, I'll cook just for you." "Enough," I interrupted. "Rosalia, don't play dumb. Zach crossed the line, and you're encouraging him to cross it. What are you talking about? He's my friend. My first love." I sneered. "I also have a first love, but I would never let my first love wear clothes my wife bought. I would never let her stay in my house, and I would never say ambiguous things in front of her." Rosalia was silent for a moment. "We're just friends." "Friends?" I took out my phone and showed her a photo. "Then what about this?" It was a photo Zach had posted in a private chat last night, Rosalia leaning against him, his hand naturally around her waist. Her face turned pale. "That was just a casual photo." "Rosalia, stop deceiving yourself. You know what Zach feels for you, and you know what you feel for him." Her eyes reddened. "Julian, are you jealous?" At that moment, her phone rang. The caller ID, Zach. Chapter 3. She answered the phone softly. "Yes, I'm at the office. Okay, I'll come back right away." After hanging up, she looked at me. "He said he wants me to make him lunch." I felt completely dead inside. "Go ahead, make plenty. Don't let him go hungry." Rosalia froze for a moment, as if she hadn't expected me to be so calm. "Julian," I said, "go." She bit her lip, but in the end, she left. I sat alone in my office, watching her hurried figure disappear, suddenly feeling exhausted. 5 years of marriage, lost to a first love who reappeared. Regina knocked and came in, holding the clothes she had just bought. "Director Lopez, do you want to see if these fit?" Looking at her young, beautiful face, I felt a stirring of a different kind of interest for the first time. "Regina, would you like to have dinner with me?" Her face flushed. Of course. That night, paparazzi captured photos of Regina and me dining together. In the pictures, we sat close, and I even politely draped my coat over her shoulders. Rosalia called me more than 30 times that night. I didn't answer a single call. The next day, she found me on set. "What's with the photos yesterday?" I said calmly. "You can live with your first love, so why can't I have dinner with someone new?" "That's different." "What's different?" I sneered. "Rosalia, we're over. Stop clinging to me." Her eyes were red. "Julian, how dare you?" "What do I dare not do?" I looked at her. "You're the one who betrayed this marriage first." Rosalia, with red eyes, confronted me on set while the crew watched. I said expressionlessly, "It's work time now. Personal matters can wait until we're home." She gritted her teeth but eventually swallowed her anger. During filming, Rosalia's performance was poor. She failed the scene more than 10 times in a row. "Rosalia, you're not capturing the emotional layers of this scene," I said through the megaphone. "You are playing a wife who deeply loves her husband but is about to lose him, not a spoiled little girl." She looked at me, her eyes full of hurt, grievance, and deep resentment. Again, after the 20th failed take, Rosalia finally broke down. She rushed up to me and, in front of everyone, demanded, "Julian, have you already fallen for someone else?" The whole crew stopped their work. The silence was almost suffocating. I put down the megaphone, walked up to her, and spoke softly, but loud enough for everyone to hear. "Rosalia, what right do you have to ask me that?" She froze. "Your first love lives in my house. You cook for him. You post intimate photos with him on Instagram. And now you ask me if I've fallen for someone else. Is this your professional ethics, bringing private feelings into work?" I turned to the assistant director. "That's it for today. Tomorrow, someone else will shoot Rosalia's scenes." Rosalia's face went pale as paper. "You're replacing me." "This is work," I said coldly. "If you can't adjust your performance, I'll have to consider replacing the lead actress." With that, I left the set without looking back. Chapter 4. When I got home that night, Zach was sitting in the living room watching TV. Seeing me come in, he turned off the TV and spoke first. "I heard you're planning to replace Rosalia." I sneered. "This is my crew. I can replace whoever I want. Rosalia cares a lot about this film, and about you," Zach said, standing up. "I think we need to talk." "What is there to talk about?" "About Rosalia." He stepped closer, his eyes challenging. "Do you know she cried for a long time today?" "That's none of my business." Zach smiled. "I was there with her while she cried, just like before." My fists clenched instantly. "Julian, I'm back," he said, the victory in his voice unmistakable. "Who do you think she'll choose?" "She's already chosen," I said calmly. "So I've decided to let go." Zach froze, clearly not expecting that answer. I'm moving out tomorrow, I told him. This house will be yours. At that moment, Rosalia pushed the door open. Seeing our confrontation, panic flashed across her face. What are you talking about? I told Zach I'm moving out tomorrow, I said evenly. You two can enjoy your life together without worry. Rosalia's face went pale. What did you say? I said, let's get a divorce. The words were casual, almost understated, but they hit her like a hammer. No, I don't agree. She shook her head. Whether you agree doesn't matter. I pulled out my phone. The lawyer's notice will be delivered tomorrow. Julian. She rushed over, trying to grab my phone. How dare you? I easily dodged her. What do I dare not do? Rosalia glanced at me, then at Zach, despair filling her eyes. This is the outcome you wanted, isn't it? I said with a sarcastic smile. Now your wish is fulfilled. With that, I grabbed the luggage I had already packed and left without looking back. I checked into a hotel near the company. The next morning, the lawyer delivered the divorce papers to Rosalia. She didn't sign. Instead, she came to the company in person to find me. I won't divorce you. She sat across from me, her eyes swollen and red. Julian, let's talk. There's nothing to talk about. I kept my eyes on the script. Sign it, and then we go our separate ways. Do you really not care at all about these 5 years we had together? Finally, I looked up at her. Rosalia, you were the one who stopped caring first. I didn't. She stood up, agitated. I've never not cared about you. Really? I sneered. Then what about Zach? He's just a friend. Friends make you cook for them. Friends make you leave your husband to attend their celebration parties. Friends live in your house. Rosalia had no answer. Rosalia, you know very well that Zach is more than just a friend to you. And you have been enjoying this special attention. Tears streamed down her face. I haven't. Whether you have or not, you know the truth in your heart. I stood up. Sign it. It's better for both of us. At that moment, Regina knocked and came in. Director Lopez. Here's the coffee you asked for. She carefully placed the coffee on my desk and stepped aside. Rosalia narrowed her eyes at her. So you're the new girl? Regina was a bit nervous. Hello, teacher Rosalia. How old are you? Rosalia scrutinized her. You look very young. 24. Regina answered quietly. Rosalia turned to me. 24, 5 years younger than me. Julian, has your taste changed? I said lightly. At least she won't be fickle. Rosalia's face went icy. Who are you calling fickle? Chapter 5. You know it in your heart. Regina sensed the tense atmosphere and tried to leave, but Rosalia called her back. Wait. Rosalia stepped in front of her. Little sister, I advise you to stay away from my husband. Regina looked between her and me, unsure of what to say. I stood up and approached Rosalia. First, I'm not your husband. We're getting divorced soon. Second, don't take out your anger on someone uninvolved. Rosalia sneered. Uninvolved? She's already been linked with you in rumors, and you call her uninvolved? So what? I stared at her. You can live with Zach. So why can't I have a new relationship? We didn't live together, Rosalia shouted in a breakdown. He just stayed at the house temporarily. Does that make a difference? I said coldly. Rosalia, be honest with yourself. If Zach confessed his feelings to you today, would you refuse him? She froze, a flicker of panic in her eyes. That moment of hesitation said it all. Seems even you aren't sure, I said as I sat back down. If that's the case, what more is there to discuss? Tears streamed down Rosalia's face. Julian, you're really cruel. Cruel, I laughed. Rosalia, you were cruel first. She said nothing further and turned to leave. Regina asked cautiously, Director Lopez, did I cause you trouble? I shook my head. It's none of your business. That afternoon, Rosalia posted a status on Instagram. Some people, some things, cannot withstand the test of time. The accompanying image was our wedding photo, but my face had been edited out. The entertainment world immediately exploded with speculation and rumors. My phone blew up with calls from reporters wanting interviews. I turned it off and focused on work. If she wanted to stir up publicity, let her. After all, this was almost over. Once Rosalia's post went up, the whole entertainment industry was buzzing with news that we were getting divorced. Reporters camped outside the company, desperate for a first-hand scoop. I had security clear the area, but some journalists still found ways to sneak in. Just then, Zach suddenly appeared in my office. Let's talk. He closed the door and walked up to me. There's nothing to talk about with you. I kept my eyes on the files. Rosalia cried all night yesterday, Zach said as he sat down. She's in pain. I sneered. That's her choice. Julian, I know why you're angry, Zach said suddenly, smiling with malice. You think Rosalia betrayed you? I looked up at him coldly. But do you know? His smile was cruel. Even before she married you, she was already mine. My hand clenched, veins bulging. What did you say? I said she's been mine all along, Zach said smugly. The night I went to Hollywood 5 years ago, we did what we were meant to do. I jumped up and landed a punch on his face. Zach fell to the ground, blood trickling from the corner of his mouth, but he was still smiling. What? Can't accept this fact. He wiped the blood. Julian, you were just a substitute. The one she loved in her heart all along was me. I swung another punch. This time, he didn't dodge. Do you know why she never mentioned you on social media for 5 years? Because she was afraid I'd get upset. Do you know why she never cooked for you? Because cooking was special for her, only for the person she loved. Do you know why she let me stay in your house? Because in her heart, that's our home. You were always the outsider. Chapter 6. I beat him like a madman, my fists bleeding. At that moment, Rosalia pushed the door open. Stop, she screamed as she rushed over. Julian, are you crazy? She pushed me aside and crouched to check Zach's injuries, her eyes full of worry. Zach, are you okay? I'll take you to the hospital. I was pushed onto the sofa, watching her anxiously help Zach up. From start to finish, she didn't even glance at me. Rosalia, Zach said weakly, I'm fine. Don't worry, you're bleeding. And you're saying you're fine. Rosalia's tears threatened to fall. I'll call an ambulance right now. Watching her cry for Zach felt like a knife to my heart. No need for an ambulance. I stood and brushed off the dust. I'll have security take him to the hospital. Only then did Rosalia turn to me, her eyes full of anger. Julian, why did you hit him? Why? I sneered. Why not? Go ask your beloved first love what he said. Zach weakly shook his head. Rosalia, I didn't say anything, he just attacked me. See, he's still lying. I looked at Rosalia. But it doesn't matter who you believe, I don't care anymore. Helping Zach to his feet, Rosalia said coldly, Julian, you've changed into someone I don't even know. Yes, I've changed, I said with a bitter smile, because I finally see reality clearly. I took out my phone and called my lawyer. Speed it up. I want the divorce certificate as soon as possible. Rosalia's face turned pale. You really want a divorce? I've told you, this is my decision. I looked at her. Rosalia, it's over. Tears streamed down her face, but my heart was already completely dead. Some wounds, once inflicted, can never be healed. After Rosalia and Zach went to the hospital, I sat alone in my office. The cuts on my hands were still bleeding, but the pain didn't compare to what was in my heart. Regina knocked gently and came in with a first aid kit. Director Lopez, let me help you treat your wounds. Looking at her concerned eyes, I felt a long-missing warmth for the first time. She carefully cleaned my cuts, gentle and precise. Does it hurt? She asked. I shook my head. No. Compared to heartbreak, these surface wounds were nothing. Director Lopez, Regina hesitated. Rosalia, is she really divorcing you? I smiled bitterly. I'm divorcing her. Why? You two seem so in love. Only on the surface. I looked out the window. Some things look beautiful outside, but inside, they've long since rotted. Regina said nothing more and focused on dressing my wounds. When she finished, she looked at me. Director Lopez, no matter what happens, I'll stand by your side. I paused, then smiled. Thank you. That night, I received a WeChat message from Rosalia. Julian, can we talk? Zach has been discharged, and I took him back to the hotel. I want to explain things to you. I stared at the message, hesitated for a long time, and finally replied, okay. We agreed to meet at a quiet cafe. Rosalia was already there, her eyes swollen and her face exhausted. Your hand, she said, noticing my bandaged hand, concern flashing in her eyes. It's fine. I sat down. What did you want to say? About what Zach said. She took a deep breath. I can explain. No need to explain. I interrupted her. Rosalia, let the past stay in the past. No, I have to make it clear. Tears fell from her eyes. 5 years ago, the night before Zach went to Hollywood, we did, it's true, but it was because I thought I'd never see him again. I thought it would be the last time. Chapter 7. I listened quietly, my heart completely unmoved. I admit it, I loved him. But Julian, after I married you, my heart has only ever belonged to you. Is that so? I looked at her. Then why have you never mentioned me on Instagram? Why have you never cooked for me? Why did you let him stay in our home? Rosalia was speechless. Rosalia, you don't need to explain anymore. I stood up. I figured it out. Zach was right. I was just a substitute. No. She grabbed my hand urgently. Julian, listen to me. Enough. I shook her off. Rosalia, we've already missed our chance. At that moment, my phone rang. It was a message from Regina. Director Lopez, where are you? I have something important to tell you. I stood to leave. Rosalia shouted after me. Julian, what's she to you? Just a young actress. Are you really going to abandon our 5 years together for her? I turned to her, my eyes full of disappointment. Rosalia, you still don't understand. It's not me abandoning our relationship, it's you. Leaving the cafe, I went straight to Regina's apartment. She opened the door in simple loungewear, worry on her face. Director Lopez, are you all right? I nodded. You said you had something important to tell me. Regina bit her lip and showed me her phone. This afternoon, some reporters came looking for me, trying to buy rumors about us. I frowned. And how did you respond? I refused. She said, looking at me. Director Lopez, I don't want to cause you trouble. Looking into her innocent eyes, my heart softened unexpectedly. Regina, would you be willing to be with me? She hesitated, then blushed. Are you serious? I've never been more serious. Her face turned as red as an apple. Director Lopez. I'm willing. I gently stroked her cheek, feeling a long-lost sense of peace. This was a feeling I hadn't experienced in a long time. With Rosalia, I had always been anxious, afraid of losing her, but with Regina, all I felt was pure happiness. Then, from today onward, you'll be my girlfriend, I said. Regina nodded shyly, then hugged me of her own accord. Her embrace was warm, comforting my exhausted heart. The next day, Regina and I appeared together on set. Everyone noticed the change in our relationship, but no one dared to comment. Rosalia also came, and seeing our closeness, her face immediately turned pale. Julian, I need to talk to you, she said as she approached me. There's nothing to talk about. I didn't even look at her, eyes fixed on the monitors. You're really going to be with this little girl? Her voice trembled. This is my personal business, I said coldly. What can she give you? Rosalia's emotions flared. She's just an unknown young actress. Apart from being younger, how could she compare to me? I finally looked up at her. What Regina can give me is something you never could. What? Loyalty. I enunciated every word carefully. Her heart belongs only to me, not like some people, still carrying the weight of a first love while pretending to be affectionate. My words struck Rosalia like a dagger. Her eyes filled with anger and grievance. Julian, you'll regret this. The only thing I regret is wasting so many years on you. That sentence was like a knife, piercing straight into Rosalia's heart. She staggered back a few steps, the light in her eyes completely extinguished. Chapter 8. That night, Rosalia announced our divorce on Instagram. Sometimes you realize halfway down a path that it's the wrong one, but you can't turn back. Thank you for these 5 years together. I hope we both find true happiness. The accompanying image showed her back, alone, looking utterly lonely. Soon, I responded on Instagram as well. Life is about constantly choosing and being chosen. May the road ahead be bright. No picture, no extra words. The internet exploded with speculation and rumors, but I didn't care anymore. A week later, we officially finalized the divorce. At the Civil Affairs office, Rosalia held the divorce certificate, tears streaming down her face. Julian, don't you regret this? I looked at her, feeling nothing. No regrets. Then remember, you were the one who gave up on us first. She cried. I didn't answer and simply turned and walked away. Her sobs echoed behind me, but I didn't look back. Some paths, once taken wrong, can never be retraced. Some people, once lost, can never be regained. Rosalia, goodbye. From now on, we were strangers. Regina was waiting for me in the car. Seeing me come out, she asked worriedly, are you okay? I held her hand. I'm fine. Let's go home. Home, now it was ours. The home I once shared with Rosalia no longer existed. Life is like this, there are gains and losses. I lost Rosalia, but I gained Regina. Perhaps that was fate's design. After the divorce, life with Regina was peaceful. She moved into my apartment and prepared breakfast for me every morning. Unlike Rosalia's elaborate, intricate dishes, Regina made simple, homey meals, but they were warm and comforting. This soup is really fresh, I complimented. Regina smiled brightly. My mom taught me. She said a man's stomach should be cared for. That simple, genuine care gave me an unprecedented sense of security. At the company, everyone knew about Regina and me, but no one dared to comment. Rosalia, however, frequently found reasons to come by. Director Lopez, I'd like to renegotiate the contract for the new film, she said as she sat across from me, her gaze complicated. Any issues should be discussed with the production manager, I said without looking up. I want to talk to you, she said, her voice choked. Julian, could we? Miss Rosalia, I interrupted. Please remember your place. We are now strictly professional. Her eyes reddened. You won't even say my name anymore. I looked at her. What do you think? At that moment, Regina entered, carrying tea. Director Lopez, your tea. She politely nodded to Rosalia. Teacher Rosalia. Rosalia scrutinized Regina, jealousy and unwillingness flashing in her eyes. How old are you? She asked. 24. Regina answered honestly. 24 and dating a top director. Truly impressive for someone so young, Rosalia said, her words sharp. I looked at her coldly. Miss Rosalia, if there's no work-related matter, please leave. Rosalia gave me one long, deep glance, then finally walked away. Regina looked a little uneasy. Director Lopez, should I have not come in? Why not? I pulled her to sit. You're my girlfriend. This is your place too. Regina smiled sweetly, but I knew Rosalia would not give up so easily. Chapter 9. Sure enough, a few days later, entertainment media started reporting on my relationship with Regina. The photos were clear, us dining together, shopping, going home. The headlines were sensational. Famous director quickly finds new love. New girlfriend 5 years younger than ex-wife. Regina saw the news and looked worried. Director Lopez, won't this affect your reputation? I shook my head. No, this was inevitable. But the online comments were far from friendly. Scumbag, divorced so fast and already has a new girlfriend. Rosalia was such a wonderful woman, and he didn't even cherish her. This little third party looks so ordinary. What's good about her except being young? Seeing these comments, Regina became very upset. Director Lopez, did I cause you trouble? She cried. I held her tightly. Don't overthink it. This will all pass. However, things escalated beyond what I had anticipated. A few days later, Zach suddenly posted on Instagram, some people abandon their devoted spouse for a new lover, and then turn around to slander their ex. A man who can't even take basic responsibility is truly pathetic. Though he didn't name me directly, everyone knew who he was referring to. The internet erupted with anger, and people started digging into Regina's personal information. Regina faced enormous online abuse, crying every day. Director Lopez, maybe we should separate, she said through tears. I don't want people to blame you because of me. I held her tightly. Don't ever say that. We are not going to separate. But I knew the war had only just begun. Rosalia and Zach were teaming up against me, trying to ruin my reputation. If that's the case, I would not hold back. I decided to fight back, arrange for some media reporters. I told my assistant, I'm holding a press conference. Director Lopez, are you sure? The public opinion online is very unfavorable right now. Precisely because it's unfavorable, I need to clarify the truth, I said with a cold smile. Some people think they can twist the facts. I'll show them what the truth really is. The press conference was scheduled for the next afternoon. I had my team gather all evidence of Rosalia and Zach, including their intimate photos, chat records, and surveillance footage from when Zach stayed in my house. On the day of the press conference, media crowded the venue. I sat on stage, facing countless cameras and microphones. Friends of the media, I began bluntly, I've invited you today to clarify some facts. There have been many false rumors online regarding my divorce from Rosalia. The reporters immediately perked up. First, I want to state clearly, the breakdown of my marriage with Rosalia was not due to me falling for someone else, but because of the intervention of a third party. I signaled the staff to display the evidence on the big screen. One by one, intimate photos of Rosalia and Zach appeared, from them dining alone, returning home late at night, to surveillance footage of Zach staying in my house. The room erupted in shock. These photos and videos were all taken during my marriage with Rosalia. I said calmly, may I ask, isn't this cheating? Reporters murmured among themselves. Director Lopez, are you saying that teacher Rosalia was unfaithful during the marriage? A reporter asked. Facts speak louder than words. I looked directly into the cameras. I am simply revealing the truth to the public. Next, I released the chat records between Zach and Rosalia, filled with ambiguous and flirtatious messages. This is Zach's exact message. Rosalia, I'm back. This time I won't leave you again. And this one, I will never forget that night 5 years ago. Chapter 10. The reporters at the scene were stunned. Finally, I want to say this, my relationship with Regina only began after I filed for divorce. She is a kind and innocent girl. Please, everyone, stop maliciously attacking her. After the press conference, public opinion instantly reversed. Netizens began criticizing Rosalia and Zach. So that's the truth. Rosalia went too far. And Zach, the third party, has the nerve to criticize someone else. Poor Miss Regina, completely innocent, yet attacked online. Rosalia clearly hadn't expected me to strike back like this. And that same night, she came to confront me. Julian, why did you do this? She asked, her eyes red. I merely stated the facts, I said calmly. When did you take those photos? She demanded. From the first day Zach appeared in my house, I started collecting evidence, I said, staring at her. Rosalia, did you really think I was a fool? She froze, disbelief written all over her face. You were guarding against me from the start. Guarding against you, I sneered. I was protecting myself, and as it turns out, my instincts were right. Rosalia pressed her hands to her face in pain. Julian, you're so cruel. Cruel. I stood up. Rosalia, you were cruel first, betraying our marriage, trampling on our feelings, and now turning it around to accuse me. How dare you call me cruel? I never betrayed you. Zach and I were truly just friends, she cried. Friends cuddle together late at night. Friends say things like, that night 5 years ago. I stepped closer. Rosalia, at this point, are you still going to lie? She choked on her words, unable to speak. Now the internet is calling me names. Are you satisfied? This is your own doing, I said coldly. When you chose to side with Zach, you should have expected this outcome. Rosalia looked at me in despair. Julian, can't we really start over? No. My answer was firm and unyielding. Rosalia, It's over. After the storm of the press conference, online opinion had completely swung in my favor. Rosalia and Zach were harshly criticized. Their endorsements and jobs were cancelled. Regina could finally live normally, free from online abuse. Director Lopez, thank you for clarifying everything for me, she said, leaning into my arms. I thought we were really going to be separated. I gently stroked her hair. Silly, I told you I would never give up on you. But Teacher Rosalia, Regina said with some worry, do you think she'll try to get revenge on us? No, I reassured her. She can barely protect herself right now. She has no energy to cause trouble for us. Sure enough, Rosalia and Zach soon disappeared from public view. I heard Zach had returned to Hollywood, and Rosalia paused all her work. Our lives finally returned to peace. Regina grew more comfortable living with me. She not only improved rapidly in her acting, but also took excellent care of daily life. Director Lopez, you've been working too hard lately. Want to take a vacation? She suggested. I thought for a moment. Good idea. Let's go to the Maldives. Really? Regina was excited like a child. I've never been abroad before. Looking at her pure smile, warmth filled my heart. This simple joy was something Rosalia had never given me. Chapter 11. During that week in the Maldives, we had an incredibly enjoyable time. Regina was like a happy little bird, curious about everything. Director Lopez, the sea here is so blue, she exclaimed, holding my hand as we ran along the beach. Director Lopez, this shell is so beautiful. Can I take it home? She said, crouching to pick up shells on the sand. Seeing her so happy, I couldn't help but feel uplifted too. Regina, I said, holding her hand on the beach as the sun set. What is it? She looked back at me. I love you, I said seriously. It was the first time I had ever said those words to her. Regina froze for a moment, then her eyes welled up with tears. I love you too, Director Lopez. Don't call me Director Lopez anymore. Call me Julian. Julian, she said, smiling sweetly. Just then, my phone rang. It was my assistant, Director Lopez. There's an emergency. Rosalia attempted suicide at the hotel and is now being treated in the hospital. I froze. When did this happen? Just now. Zach discovered it, and they're both at the hospital. I was silent for a moment. Understood. After hanging up, Regina looked at me worriedly. What's wrong? Rosalia attempted suicide. I told her matter-of-factly. Regina's face changed instantly. Then, should we go back? I saw her nervous expression and pulled her into my arms. No need. This doesn't concern us. But, Regina, our vacation will not be interrupted by anyone, I said firmly. Her life or death has nothing to do with me. Regina nodded, but I could feel her mood shift. That night, the internet was flooded with news of Rosalia's suicide attempt. The photos showed her lying in a hospital bed, pale as paper. Zach was by her side, his eyes full of guilt and anguish. Public opinion began to waver again. Rosalia is so pitiful, but suicide. Has Julian gone too far? Did he push her to this? I still feel a bit sorry for Rosalia, though she was clearly at fault. I turned off my phone. I didn't want to see any more comments. Rosalia, was this your final move? Using suicide to gain sympathy, to make me the target of public anger? Too bad. My heart was already completely dead. Your life or death truly has nothing to do with me. Regina leaned into my arms and asked softly, Julian, will you regret this? I shook my head. No, but she almost died. Regina, you must remember, everyone is responsible for their own choices, I said. Looking at her, she chose betrayal, and now she bears the consequences. Her suffering is not caused by me. Regina nodded and remained silent, but I knew this incident would leave a shadow in her mind. Rosalia, even now, at this point, you still try to destroy my life,